Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to our Bhagavatam Stutis series. We'll continue with the Kunti Maharani's prayers. Today, shloka number 25, chapter 8, canto number 1. Vipadas santuta shashvat
Vipadas-santuta shashvat
tatra jagat guru
tatra jagadguru
bhavato darshanam yatsyat
bhavato darshanam yatsyad
apunar darshanam.
apunarbhava darshanam.
Word for word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vipadaha,
Vipadaha,
calamities.
calamities.
Santu,
Santu,
let there be.
let there be.
Taha,
Taha,
all.
all.
Shashvat,
Shashvat,
again and again.
again and again.
Tatra,
Tatra,
there.
there.
Tatra,
Tatra,
and there.
and there.
Jagat Guru,
Jagadguru,
O Lord of the universe.
O Lord of the universe.
Bhavataha,
Bhavataha,
your.
your.
Darshanam,
Darshanam,
meeting.
meeting.
Yat,
Yet,
that which.
that which.
Syat,
Syat,
is.
is.
Apunaha,
Apunaha,
not again.
not again.
Bhavadarshanam,
Bhavadarshanam,
seeing repetition of birth and death.
seeing repetition of birth and death.
Translation. I wish that all those calamities
I wish that all those calamities
would happen again and again,
would happen again and again,
so that we could see you again and again.
so that we could see you again and again.
For seeing you
For seeing you
means that we will no longer see repeated births and deaths.
For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated births and deaths.
So this is an unusual request and prayer from a pure devotee. And we can understand their mindset as follows. Prabhupada writes in the purport, generally the distressed, the needy, the intelligent, and the inquisitive who have performed some pious activities worship or begin to worship the Lord. So this is from the Bhagavad Gita, Shloka Arthi Jnana Jignasu. Others who are thriving on misdeeds only, regardless of status, cannot approach the Supreme due to being misled by the illusory energy. So in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord talks about 4 kinds of, unfortunate people who do not approach Him, who reject Him, and then 4 kinds of people who approach Him. Although in the category of the 4, the distressed, the needy, the intelligent, and the inquisitive, the Lord does not suggest that they are all devotees of Him. However, He accepts them as being pious. At least they have approached Him. But for those who don't even approach Him, who think they are independent, then Prabhupada is writing here, they are actually being misled by Maya. Therefore, for a pious person, if there is some calamity, there is no other alternative than to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Constantly remembering the lotus feet of the Lord means preparing for liberation from birth and death. Therefore, even though there are so-called calamities, they are welcome because they give us an opportunity to remember the Lord, which means liberation. Yesterday, we were saying that suffering is a part of life. So there is a nice shloka in the 2nd canto, 9th chapter, shlokas 23 and 24, where the Lord is speaking to Brahmaji because Brahmaji is confused. He does not know what is his duty and responsibility. He doesn't even know what to do and where to begin. He's all alone. So as he's searching for the source of the lotus flower and he's not able to find out what the source is, he hears a voice that says, Tapa, Tapa. And very dutifully and submissively, he understands that this is the Lord Himself in sound vibration, giving him an instruction, a clear instruction to do tapa. Tapaha means austerity or penance. Now, it is understood that all of us are doing some kind of austerity. There is not a single Jivatma on this planet who's not undertaking some austerity. The question is, are we taking that austerity willingly, or are we taking that austerity by force? Technically speaking, we are doing both. We willingly take austerity so that we can work hard all day, so we can put food on the table, have shelter, have something by which you can take care of your family. So that's a willing austerity. And the reason we have to suffer is to remember the Lord, right? If yesterday we were saying that if we are insensitive to suffering, then it only increases our suffering. So if you keep your hands in the fire and you don't have that sensitivity to something being damaged or being harmed, then you'll not withdraw your hand from the fire. Therefore, suffering is a reminder for us to understand that this is not the place where we are meant to be, that Krishna is inviting all of us to go back to the spiritual world. That is the fundamental purpose of suffering. So it is not surprising that Kunti Devi is praying for more and more suffering, because through that suffering, she can actually have an opportunity to remember the Lord. Just look at the stature of a pure devotee. None of us would pray like this and ask the Lord for suffering. So Prabhupada says in one of his lectures in Los Angeles that since Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has specifically instructed all those who are born in India to become gurus, to propagate Krishna consciousness. So who can be a guru? Someone who is ready to follow the instructions of their spiritual master can become a guru. And Prabhupada explains that material life means danger in every step. Therefore, we cannot avoid suffering. And His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj says in one of his lectures on these two shlokas that I was talking about, where the Lord is speaking to Brahmaji, since anyway we have to suffer, none of us can avoid suffering. Since anyway all of us have to do tapasya, why not do that tapasya which takes us back to the spiritual world? Why get engaged in tapasya that is only going to keep us trapped in the cycle of birth and death? So do that kind of tapasya that is so sublime that the results are eternal. They will lead to Satchidananda. So Prabhupada explains that in modern day life, people are running here and there. They are working harder. They are working longer, but money is losing its value. And therefore, you are working much longer also. Retirement age is being deferred, which is such a disaster. So Prabhupada says, if we learn to live in a very simple way, then we can do tapasya where we can remember. And Prabhupada, in that particular purport for that 23rd shloka of the 9th chapter of 2nd canto, Prabhupada defines tapasya as follows. He says, tapasya is nothing but devotional service to Krishna. Tapasya is nothing but devotional service to Krishna. So there is this real danger. We are thinking, if I build a better house, I'll be protected from floods, I'll be protected from earthquakes. If I do this, if I do that. But Prabhupada says that the real danger for us is repeated birth and death. There is no other danger for us. The real danger is that we are extending many, many lifetimes in this material universe. And Prabhupada gives an example of the Titanic in that lecture in Los Angeles on this particular shloka number 24. Prabhupada says, the greatest ship that ever was, built to be so sturdy, so strong. First time a ship built with, steel. And on its maiden voyage, it hits an iceberg and sinks. And many, many important people, wealthy people simply lost their lives. So we may think, oh, the ship is safe, it is strong, it will protect me from the ocean. But you do not know when the next danger is coming your way. And Prabhupada reminds us, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, that when dangers come or anything happens, we have to learn to tolerate. A devotee has to develop the ability to tolerate discomfort. That is the only remedy, Prabhupada says, is to develop the ability to tolerate discomfort. So tapasya means voluntarily accepting some difficulties so that you can make progress spiritually. So Prabhupada explains in that lecture that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's program is so simple and so easy. What is the tapasya you and I have to do? We just have to move our lips and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We have to dance, Prabhupada says, in front of the Lord. We are dancing for the pleasure of the Lord. We are not dancing so that we can enjoy ourselves. Dancing attracts the attention of the Lord. We have to honor prasadam. That's all Prabhupada says. That's the only tapasya. So we have to chant, dance, and honor prasadam. And this way, we can dance our way back into Krishna's heart and back into the spiritual world. So Prabhupada continues in this purport here. One who has taken the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, which are accepted as the most suitable boat for crossing the ocean of nescience, can achieve liberation as easily as one leaps over the holes made by the hooves of a calf. So generally it is accepted that this samsara, that this ocean of suffering is so hard to overcome. But for devotees of that Lord, that same ocean of suffering becomes just like a little puddle which you can cross over easily. Such persons are meant to reside in the abode of the Lord, and they have nothing to do with the place where there is danger in every step. This material world is certified by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita as a dangerous place full of calamities. Less intelligent persons prepare plans to adjust to those calamities without knowing that the nature of this place is itself full of calamities. They have no information of the abode of the Lord, which is full of bliss and without trace of calamity. I was listening to a little podcast, because of the situation of India and Pakistan and this whole Operation Sindhu. There is this podcaster from the US. I think he was a journalist perhaps before. But he was talking about how, he was just talking about the political aspect of how the Indus, the Satluj River, everything actually originates in the Tibetan plateau. And the Tibetan plateau is controlled by China. So yes, India has stopped the waters to Pakistan, but China can play the same game and cut off the supply to India and to Pakistan and to Bangladesh and to Myanmar. There are a lot of rivers that originate in the Tibetan plateau. So it's fascinating that every time we think we are trying to protect ourselves, some other calamity comes. That is what Prabhupada is saying here. We are constantly trying to adjust to calamity after calamity after calamity. We are trying to become more and more comfortable. Therefore, Prabhupada is saying such people, they have no information of the abode of the Lord, which is full of bliss and without trace of calamity. The duty of the same person, therefore, is to be undisturbed by worldly calamities, which are sure to happen in all circumstances. So calamities will come. Kunti Devi already knows this. But she says, yes, we have experienced calamity for 12, 15, 16, 17, how many ever years. But let that not get over, because then there is a risk that I may forget you. So let the calamities come. Yes, everything is resolved now. The kingdom is won. But let the calamities come. Suffering all sorts of unavoidable misfortunes, one should make progress in spiritual realization, because that is the mission of human life. Therefore, Prabhupada defines tapasya as nothing but devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Because everything else is just secondary. It's going to come, it's going to go. Wealth is going to come, wealth is going to go. Health is going to be there, and then health is going to deteriorate. It's just the way of life. The spirit soul is transcendental to all material calamities. Therefore, the so-called calamities are called false. A man may see a tiger swallowing him in a dream, and he may cry for this calamity. Actually, there is no tiger and there is no suffering. It is simply a case of dreams. In the same way, all calamities of life are said to be dreams. If someone is lucky enough to get contact with the Lord by devotional service, it is all gain. Contact with the Lord by any one of the 9 devotional services is always a forward step on the path going back to Godhead. In one of another lectures that I was listening to of Prabhupada, he says about this dream, he says, let's say you are swimming in the ocean and suddenly you, I don't know if there are whirlpools in the ocean, I assume there are. So in the whirlpool, if you start drowning, you're dreaming that you're swimming in the ocean and suddenly you're caught up in the whirlpool and you're getting sucked in and you're crying out for help. And what is the help? You just have to be woken up, that's all. You have to be told it's a dream, that's all. That's the saving grace for somebody who's having a nightmare. The best way to get them out of that nightmare is to wake them up and let them know that was all a dream and nothing else. So this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's program of simply chanting, dancing, and having prasadam, that is the best way for us all to go back to Godhead. So misfortune will come, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in the Sikshastakam, Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktihi. My dear Lord, you've invested all of your Shakti potency in your names. And yet, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu laments, Durdaivam Idrisha. Yet I am so preoccupied with material things that I don't have a taste for chanting your holy names. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talking about how he doesn't have a taste for chanting the holy names, even though he was chanting the holy names constantly. So here, Kunti Devi is simply requesting Krishna, please, you don't forget us. How do you know Krishna doesn't forget you? He has to constantly send suffering so that he reminds you that you belong to him. So we have to welcome even the sufferings as an opportunity to remember Krishna. That is the mood of a pure devotee.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.